So we back again. Juice Bundles, the sound of hip hop, the podcast where we improving the culture one episode at a time. Now, we're on a new topic today. You know what I mean? We did, like I told you, we might do this again. Hopefully we continue to do this often so that, because a lot of perspectives as far as from the older and newer generation, they clash or whatever. So you just get to see where people are coming from and stuff like that. So now, you know what I mean? I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute, man. We talking about the Godfather, Kevin Samuels. Now, we're just talking about him as a person. I really more or less am talking about his view on women. You get what I'm saying? And his view on relationships, period. Like, I'm like a fan. And this is going to be like, if y'all check out, I got 2 videos on it, but I'm going to start trying to put 1 video up a week about, the men versus women or the relationship aspect. But, yeah, so I just want to get into it. So I would say for the most part and for the general idea, because I don't want anybody or the Godfather to get this twisted, for the general idea of what he's saying, I agree 100%. It's certain things that I don't agree with, about the Kelly Rowlands of 9 and stuff like that. But those are not like very big things. I don't think that you should pay it off for, sex, which you do indirectly. But as far as like just upfront paying, I don't feel, I don't agree with that. But as far as mostly all other things, I totally agree with and think that he's on point. So as far as like what do you feel about like his view as far as men and women in relationships?
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to get into that. Like, I'm going to kind of zoom out and then zoom in as we get more and more talking about him. But just so y'all understand why, listen carefully, y'all, why I'm saying the things I'm saying is because I'm somebody that tries to get to someone else's fundamentals. You know how people say, like, you got to get to the root of the problem. You got to get to the root of the problem. No. I'm wiring my brain so I get to the soil of the problem. Okay, where did these roots even come out of? What's the soil? So y'all gonna hear me talk about Kevin Samuels' communication skills, his fundamentals, talking to people, all that. But I'm gonna wait for that. First, let's just talk about the topic he was on, which was pretty much just like, it was a video of him talking to this like really ignorant transgender feminist.
Huh?
Yeah.
Nobody was transgender?
Yeah, huh? That girl was transgender he was talking to.
Which one?
He literally asked to see like her dick and balls.
No. He said, no, when he was saying that, he was saying, put your dick up because you're talking like a man. He wasn't really saying that. You talking about the white girl?
Yeah.
No.
She said she was transgender.
No. She's not transgender. No.
I think you're wrong.
And she's beautiful.
She said, though, like, I was transgender and now.
Nah, she didn't say that. Hold on,
scaring me.
Let me see if you're
you
talking about the right video.
Now. Yeah, no, I watched that shit. Y'all that scaring me. Nah, she transgender.
Nah, she ain't transgender.
I swear to God, she said that like towards the beginning of the video. She just like, yeah, I used to be a man.
No. This is what she said. She said I'm half a man, saying like her mentality. She did. She's not.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's not a transgender.
Okay, all right. That was fucking me up. Then he wanted to see dick and balls. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck.
No, he was just saying put up your dick because you're a woman. You get what I'm saying? You're talking like a man.
Okay, all right. So I guess I'll just keep going about like the topic of what they were talking about, which was she's kind of just like that new school feminist that's just very ignorant. She's done no research, but she just feels entitled. Which, with these kind of videos, it's satisfying to see somebody who's put the work in, put the time in, put the research in, like Kevin Samuels, decimate this ignorant feminist and kind of just trying to like melt away her, what was the word I just said? Entitlement. You know what I mean? And really just putting her in her place, which some of it I was agreeing with, right? Like the fairness when he was talking about like things shouldn't be fair, things can't be fair for you or however it was. That part I agree with, like life is not fair. Like, and I love his example of like like if you're walking into a club, like do ugly girls not get in and then you're allowed to get in? Shouldn't you tell the bouncer like, let me pay full price since the ugly girls can't get in too? I like little examples like that. I could tell he's put the work in. And so like the topic itself, like I thought like for the most part he's right. I mean, he was interrupting her throughout most of the conversation, so I barely heard her point. But really the biggest problem I had with Kevin Samuels is just his communication skills. I'll stop right there to give.
So you agree with?
I didn't finish the second half of the video, so I didn't know if he started saying some crazy shit. But I got the idea of where he was going with it, and I would say like most of the ideas are like okay, but he was really struggling with overgeneralization. So saying like speaking for a community, I find that very inappropriate. To say something like all men don't struggle with fairness. He said that mad times. All men don't struggle with fairness. We don't struggle with fairness. We conquer other lands. I'm like, bro, how ignorant and overgeneralization is that to speak? I struggle with fairness. I'm a man. Don't speak for the whole community. And the last thing I want to say too is when he said women need men for survival.
Oh yeah,
bro, that's subjective, blurring it into objectivity. That's not true. That's not true at all. But you try to make it seem like a fact because you're cutting somebody off and being rude to appear smart. That's not accurate. Those are like, that's why I'm going to get into
So first you said, what was the first thing you disagreed?
Men don't struggle with fairness.
Okay, well, first of all, what he's saying, he's not saying, well, what do you mean? Okay, so in what ways do you struggle with fairness?
So like I had a very verbally and physically abusive mom growing up, which caused me to struggle with idealization. Okay, search this word up. Idealization is when you feel like something should be a certain type of way. So when you're driving and somebody cuts you off, that's ideal. If you get frustrated, that's idealization. You're like, bro, you shouldn't be cutting me off. Like, what the fuck? Like, what if I got my kids in the car? You're going to kill my family. You trying to, or if one of your coworkers is talking shit behind your back and you find out and you like, bro, you should not be talking shit about me. That's not what you should do in the workplace. Be professional. That's idealization, which is really fairness. It's not fair for you to cut me off in the road. So if you get upset at those things, you struggle with fairness. And most of us men, especially these single parent men, we struggle with that. I struggle with fairness.
So again, I think you missed the concept of what he was saying. He wasn't saying it in that regard. First of all, he was saying that men don't really cry about fairness. Fairness isn't something that we can complain about. It's something that we just have to get over as men. A lot of women, what he was saying is how she was complaining about stuff that's fair or not, but she doesn't care when the fairness, like put it like this, I'm saying it wrong. She cares about, the stereotypes and the benefits that men get in dating, but the ones that the women get, as far as his example, as far as if she's pretty, she doesn't have to wait in line. See, she doesn't care about those. And what he was trying to say is that men don't care about that stuff, and men do not, like, that doesn't move men. You get what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make or break men because it's not something that we can care about. It's not something that society has said, you know what? When stuff isn't fair, you have a place to go hide, or you have a place to come to for comfort. Nah, when stuff isn't fair for men, it's an obstacle, it's a bump that you just have to get over. And that's more or less what he was saying about fairness.
Even that I disagree with, but it's the way he's saying it. All he said in the video was men don't struggle with fairness. That simple.
Well, he didn't really say I remember I saw that
verbatim.
Video. I remember that video. I don't believe he used the word struggle, but he was just saying that, like, he gave an example. He said if we were playing a video game and he was kicking my butt, you know what I mean?
That's not accurate. I thought that example was so stupid.
He was like, come on, my controller's messed up. That's not fair.
To my niggas that play 2K, you ain't never pick your controller up and be like, nah, hold up, man, my button not working, my R2 not working. That's not right. You just dunked on me, whatever it is.
Okay, you're right. And all right, so if you did that, would it be something to be like, okay, the button didn't work, then you dunked on me right there. You know what? This is unfair. We have to start the game over, make sure everything's fair. No, it'd be something you had to get over. And that's what he's trying to say. It'd be something you had to get over as a man.
I didn't understand that. Try to explain that to me again. Like,
So, all right, put it like this. Say we playing 2K, right?
uh-huh.
And, we playing, and for a moment's time, you know what I mean, your stuff glitched, and
Yeah.
I went up on you like 5 points. You like, dang, man, my controller froze for a minute. That's some
Right.
crazy stuff. So if you lost that game.
All right. Now I see what you're saying. Now let's say that game is for $10,000 and my controller's glitching. You think I'm gonna just get over it?
Well, you're gonna have to, because that's
10K?
just the way stuff is. Because
We're gonna restart this game, or there's gonna be shots in the house, right?
My controller could mess up. You know what I mean? It's a game, and that's what I'm saying. That's just an example of what he's saying. When men have to do stuff, you just have to get over it. But what was your other example?
Was when he said women need men for survival. He said that verbatim.
Okay, so again, the women have the women built this world that we live in.
I'm not saying, and I understood where he was going with, like,
Well, no,
men built the world.
That's exactly what he's talking about.
Men built the world, right? Men built it. And then he was saying, like, men don't need women. Okay,
No.
He said that first. He definitely said that first.
Hold on.
Go
He
ahead.
didn't say men don't need women. He said men don't need women for survival is
Okay.
what he's saying.
Okay.
And we don't.
Okay, and that I agree with. I agree
good.
that a population of men could survive on their own without women. And just because women have not done that in the past does not mean that it's not possible. And that's my problem. You think women nowadays can't create a whole state, a whole city by themselves and survive efficiently? Bro, if you think that way, you objectify against women and you have no respect for women as a race. I mean, not a race. I'm sorry about that. But as a
But no, put it like this. But what he's even saying
Gender.
is, first of all these feminist movements, for one, why have they not done it? For two, yeah, it would be easy for women to do it now after the men already built this world to be so comfortable for you to do so. This is what he's trying to tell you. Like, okay, yeah, it's easy to build a state if you could even do that, because it's not even done. But if you can build a state or a land for women with it already being a first world country. Now, let's just for what the world was when it's just woods and trees and stuff like that. Now go and do that there.
yes, it's still possible. I
believe
believe in you, women.
Again, it's possible. It's possible.
So then why is he saying something like as bold as women don't need men for survival? His communication skills are off. He's not sitting here explaining it to me like you being calm, being patient, being respectful. He's cutting her off. He's trying to make her feel stupid, and he's making these bold ass claims. He's not doing all this respectful shit that CJ's doing right now. This man is cutting this woman off and trying to make her feel stupid. You know what I mean? Educate and explain yourself. Don't have these bold ass claims because it makes you seem ignorant. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
But again, what he's trying to put it like this, I do feel at times, I will say about 60% of the time, he shouldn't cut. The way he cuts people off, he doesn't. The other 40 is I think is justified. But as far as the what he was trying to explain to her, or what he was trying to explain is, you just said it's possible in all women. And then I want to get back, because you said he likes to generalize stuff. Well, when talking about topics, we can't talk about, say, when we're talking about women, or we're talking about men, or we're talking about, the basketball league, we can't talk about what the 2 or the 10% will do. We could say, you know what I mean? Because most of the women are not going to do that. Most of the men are not going to do that. It's always an exception to something. It's a girl out there that,
right. So then,
hold on, listen.
Go
It's a girl out there that could beat me up. But just think of a non-trained woman that is regular height and regular weight. And I'm an untrained fighter as well. Most likely, they're going to lose. We understand that certain women have training. We understand that certain women have been brought up a certain way. We understand that certain women are stronger, you know what I mean, as far as like, how they exercise and stuff like that. But when we're talking about women, because when we're talking about women, we have to talk about what most women do, or what most men do, or what most of the athletes do, or for whatever we're talking about. And that's the generalization, because it's cool. We know, everybody knows that someone somewhere, and that's what I was trying to tell you. I forget, we were talking about the topic. Oh yeah, we were talking about, we're going to talk about that another time, but we were talking about the dude
Anything
book.
is possible.
Yeah,
Right.
the anything is possible. We know that it's a certain percentage, it's a very small percentage of some people who can do certain things.
Right. But if you acknowledge that is possible, why would you say that? All right. So like when it comes down to the example that he just used about like the average girl trying to fight him, I would agree that there's a less than 1% chance that this girl is gonna beat Juice up, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna say women can't beat Juice in a fight, right? That's like if I said women can't beat Juice in a fight. You feel me? That's exactly what. Did I say it again? Oh, all right. My bad. I thought I was fucking up. That's what Kevin Samuels pretty much did in his example, right? He's like, even though if there's less than 1% chance women will survive in a rainforest on some crazy shit, you have to acknowledge that. Because you could say, well, what if we throw all these women in the forest? Well, what if you actually threw in that less than 1% woman? Guess what she's gonna do? Create a whole city, state, whatever out of that forest. So why would I say something as bold and ignorant as women don't need men for survival? Or why would I say women can't beat Juice in a fight? That's so ignorant.
And it is women that could beat me in a fight. But the whole point is, see, when we're talking about this stuff, see, she's talking. See, you got to understand, when these people are doing this, she's talking like this is what is out there for most women. Like, that's why she's actually generalizing it, but you can't generalize something that's in a minority. And if you had that one woman that out there, she couldn't do it without the help of other people. Like, all these men that put this world together and built this stuff up, they didn't do that by themselves. It took a group and community of men, because men are just built that way. That's why when you hear him talk, he said that you guys want to be equal, and you say everything's equal and all that, but then you go and pick these jobs that make you women. You know what I mean? Everybody, am I right that anybody could do anything, right?
Yeah.
So the women, they don't really pick engineering. They don't pick the building buildings and stuff like that. They stay in their roles. So if you know that that's the case, why argue?
Right, because women have been oppressed much longer than most people, right? Like, I could say the same thing for the black community. Why don't most black people try to clean up their hoods? I've seen Jersey. It's dirty, right? Why don't most black people try to clean up their hoods, get out of the hood, become lawyers, do something great? That's just because we only a few hundred years over slavery. We trying to get it together. So now you've seen a couple black people that are lawyers, a part of the government, and they doing better for themselves. Can we give women the time to catch up just like us as a black community caught up?
Okay, so now I like to get into a stat that Kevin Samuel said, 64% of the black community is middle class. So, you know what I mean? And that's just the statistics. You know what I mean? So with that being said, the average black man makes, probably only a few thousand less than a white man. That's for one. For two, the communities in the hood that you're talking about, they don't own those. So that's why they don't clean it up. Are you gonna put it like this? Where we work or whatever, are you gonna clean up the outside of that every day just to make sure it looks nice? You don't own it. For what? That's somebody else's job.
I would, and I've considered it. I just want to put that out there. I have considered cleaning up, and just to put this out there, I went on a run yesterday for 3 hours. I was outside running for 3 hours. In that 3 hours, I was picking up trash around my community. It wasn't in my apartments. No, I'm running down the street. So just to go to this point, yeah, I would do that.
I mean, again, most people though, most people are not gonna really, mess with stuff that they own. But you see the black people that do own their stuff is clean. You get what I'm saying? Nobody's really gonna do, and why should they? If we don't own this and you own it, you clean it up. You know what I mean? If you just boxing us in these buildings and just putting us here because that's all you have for us, and you're letting us know that you're not giving us anything and this is not ours to own, you clean it up. That's one of the reasons why I'm really skeptical to buy a house, because at the end of the day, you might own the house, but you don't own that property. That's why you pay property taxes every single year. And you could have paid $100,000 or something. Some situation might happen to you to where you can't pay money for 2 years, and they'll take your house and you paid it in full. So that's what I'm saying. So why would I do something for something that I don't truly own?
And y'all see how men struggle with fairness?
Well, no, I don't struggle with it. Look and see exactly. You see how I see it. I make the decision to say, "Oh, I'm not gonna own it," and I just move on. I'm not up here crying about like, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna clean because it's unfair." I just don't clean because I don't own it. I move on. You know what I mean?
Like the reasoning as to why these people don't clean up their neighborhoods is ridiculous. And fairness, right? And what I was saying before, idealization. The city should clean this up because I don't own this property, so they should do these things. Struggling with fairness, you need to get out of that mindset. I'm gonna clean up my whole neighborhood by myself. Myself. I'll clean up the whole, and I'll clean up your neighborhood too.
And that's
by myself.
And that's good and generous. But again, remember the city.
I don't struggle with fairness.
The city owns it, so you know.
You see what happens. You see what happens when a young black man doesn't worry about fairness. I'm gonna come to a hood near you and I'm gonna clean it up because I'm standing up for my community. I'm trying to show y'all what it's like to really stand up and be a gentleman, right? I'm gonna come to your hood and I'm gonna clean it up. Guess why? I don't have to live there. I don't have to do that. I want y'all to live somewhere clean because I don't struggle with fairness. That's what I'm trying to let y'all know.
I think you're taking the fairness thing out of context. He's just more or less talking about that whatever it is, we just get over it.
I disagree with that heavily.
Because the thing is, well, the topic that they were talking about at hand was that those women were whining about, men and why men act like that and why relationships are like that, and they're about to cry and never date again. See, they're struggling with the fairness of men and women as far as dating. So that's why he was making the aspect. See, what he was actually saying as well is, men know that we have to, if you really want a very good-looking woman, you got to prop yourself up. You got to do this. We know that if we want a good woman and we're regular and we can't have it, we don't cry about that. We go make ourselves better. See, what they were doing is they're cute and everything. They know they have the advantage and they can pick the guys they want. But then now you have that advantage and you're not crying about, sending the good guy away. But since you found the one with the money and the one that you feel that you deserved, now when he has an advantage to where he can have any girl he wants, now you're crying about that. And
right.
That's what.
Okay, so I'll use that example, right? Not only is that overgeneralization and ignorant, you cannot speak for a community, right? Well, no, let's say we take a. That's the reason.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that he was saying
whoever is claiming it is ignorant.
He was saying, but even those women were saying it, but he's saying that the women, and that's what you get mostly in society today. They're above a normal man. You know what I mean? A person like us maybe. You know what I mean? That they're going to look for rappers, or they're going to look for the person who has 800,000, and they're going to date around till they find the right one. And and you may have like a heart of gold, and they may not want that because you don't have the resources and everything they need.
Yep.
But when somebody has the resources and everything he needs, and he has the pick of the field like you, we not crying about that girl that's saying, "Oh, well, I don't pick you because you're not a millionaire." Well, but I pick him. But now he's saying, "Well, I have a lot to choose from, so I'm gonna talk to you and you and you and you, and you're either gonna put up with it or not, because I can talk to whoever I want to. I have the resources." But now you're crying about that, but you're not crying about what you do. That's just what he was saying, as far as the fairness aspect.
Even that I still find ignorant, because it's like, take an incel man, right? This is my generation, right? A lot of us men are just in the house playing video games, watching porn, whatever it is, right? Take an incel man that's in the house, right? Or somebody that's super short, right? Super short. You never seen that guy? I seen mad videos of that guy that walks into Starbucks and he's super short and I remember this video specifically. He's just looking at the women around him and he's just like, what? You don't want to date me because I'm short? It just for no reason inside like of Starbucks, right? So that goes to show. And then you have like overweight women, like Oprah at one time. I'm just spitballing here, but yeah. Oprah at one time, right? She's super overweight, but she accepts who she is. And she just, I'm not saying she's done that throughout her whole career, but there were times where she's like, I'm big, I accept it, I'm confident, and I'm still, I still feel like I have the advantage and shit, right? I mean, it could be because of her resources and other factors, right? But exactly. What I'm saying is like the same thing can happen to men where they complain. I'm too short, I'm too tall, I'm too ugly, I have too much acne, whatever it is. They complain just like women. So why would you say a statement like that?
Again, he's talking about for the majority. Most men, they don't do that. They either they either get themselves better or accept what they can get.
Overgeneralization. If you don't know that, don't speak for a community of people. That's especially as black people. I see this all the time. Stop saying all women are hoes, all men are this, all this is that, all Spanish women got this or that. Stop, black people, black men, black women. Stop speaking for communities. You don't know. You don't know nothing. Anybody that has to speak for any community, stop. You don't know what men do in general, or, that's a small population of men. If it's possible, stop speaking for the community. You don't know the percentages. You don't know what men will do what. You don't know.
That's why you should. Maybe, I don't know if it was on that video, but he knows the percentages and stuff like that.
You can use percentages to manipulate people. That 64%, I'm going to search that up on my own time. Clearly, he has an agenda. Why would I trust the percentages? He wants to be right.
No, I'm saying, why, what would his agenda be to say that 64% of men are in the middle class? Or 64%, I don't want to get his statistics wrong, but I remember he was saying something about 50% are in the middle class, or 64% are in the middle class, and 50% are childless, or 64% are childless. It's one of those, and he gives you it's called Black People. It's a statistic site. If you watch enough of his videos, he will state it, and he said the numbers are there for you to look at. So and they're about numbers and of all men in America. And these are all about black. They're talking about black people, black men. But what I'm saying is, when you're talking about I understand what you mean by saying a generalization in a certain aspect, but in a certain aspect, when we talk about a certain thing, we can't talk about what the 2 or 10% might do. You know what I mean? Like if we were to say, for example, if we were to say, what is the if we were to talk about what's the average income, we wouldn't talk about the 10% that make over 100,000.
If we were talking about the possibility of black men becoming successful, then yes, we would talk about that 10%.
That's not the topic. It's not about a possibility. It's about what's happening now.
But
that's what he's talking about.
What I'm correlating is how he's delivering it. That's a big part of it, right? Just like rap skills, his delivery of the message is has this agenda where he wants to appear smart. That's what Kevin Samuel's biggest problem is. You want to be smart so bad.
I don't
you
think
make
that's
people
agenda.
feel like shit. And he's talking to a woman. Women need men for survival.
They do.
What the fuck?
Put it like this.
How do you know that? It has not been done. You don't know.
Again, it was this. It was this thing called Bears Grill Island or something like that. Yeah, Bears Grill Island. They put a group of women on one side of the island, a group of men on the other side of the island. The women almost died, and by he explained it by the men got to the finish and were building stuff by like day 2 and all of that.
Right.
And the women, they had the crew of the show had to go and save them because again, for the average woman, and for the average man, this is our lives and this is our roles.
This is my issue with Juice right now, right? He has no role models. This man has no role models. If the man that he's looking up to, this Kevin Samuels person, this nigga got this information from a TV show. And this is what Juice is living by. He got this off of Bear Grylls' TV show. Now he can approach women and say, women need men for survival. I'm going to let y'all in the comments let this man know that he needs better role models. That don't make sense.
Well,
Please educate this young man.
Well, first of all, it was just showing what if I just go get some men off the earth and some women without knowing what they do, whatever, and put them there. This is the average that'll happen. For one, for two, I don't go up to girls saying, yeah, you need me for survival, because that's like not what
He
I
does though, and
well,
that's
no,
what
no,
you look up to.
no. I'm saying me, like, I don't care if women. I could barely cook and stuff like that. So, but what I'm saying is, but put it like this, you feel me? So that's not my angle as far as that aspect. But but the thing that I see, what you don't understand, and a lot of people don't understand that I understand, he is actually, listen to this carefully, and I know you're going to disagree.
I'm gonna listen.
He is actually trying to help women instead of hurt them. He's actually showing that, listen, what you should do is do this, because he's actually, what he tries to do is he tries to unify black families. So all of you women that think you're up here when you're down here or wherever you're at, you don't need to be above men, or you don't need to be on this certain plateau. You can take the man next door, and we can have communities, because that's what he's trying to. He wasn't talking to black women that day,
Right?
But if you watch his show, he'll let you know like what you are, and you're over here trying to get this 100, or somebody who earns 500,000 a year, when you aren't what they're going to be looking for in the first place. And this man over here, this fella that you live next door to, that he might not have as much as he has, but he is somebody that you can build and be happy and have a family with and make it to the end of life with. That is what his real objective is. You know what I mean? So but when women complain about this stuff, but you're complaining about what these guys do to you, right? Mm-hmm. But you're not taking the men who actually want you. So you're going after men. You see that they don't want you. They don't want you to be their wife. They don't want to wife anything up. They're playing the field, but then you're complaining about them when you know that. And if you want something as far as to be in a relationship, if you're, put it like this, it just depends on what you want. So if you're a woman that wants, you want a fabulous life, you want a handsome husband, and you want a nice big house and income, what he's letting you know is this is the real world. And that's why I urge, and I talk about this a lot. I'm going to start talking about it a lot. That's why I urge everybody to marry for duty. You know what I mean? So if you want that type stuff, deal with what comes with that. This handsome, rich man that can have any woman he wants in this godly world, is that, if that's what you really want, you got to deal with infidelity. You got to deal with, sleepless nights by yourself. You know what I mean? Or not saying sleepless, but nights by yourself, because that's what comes with that lifestyle. Now, if your important thing is you want a man to be loyal to you, and you want him in your bed every night, and that you really want to be happy amongst that, well, then you have to go get that accordingly. So the man who will, who worships the ground you walk on, if those qualities are really what you want, that is the man that you're supposed to get. And that's what he's trying to explain to people.
So bring black communities together, right? And I think that what he's talking about is a very important topic, right? Like the modern women issue, like how they view, choosing their men. I'm sure that there are percentages out there that really show that this is an actual problem. That's not my point, right? I'm sure that the research is out there that shows modern, the divorce rate, modern women, this, that. I'm sure that it's an actual problem, right? What I'm saying is this is why I want to get into his communication skills. This is a perfect segue, because he said he's trying to bring black families together. Can we agree on that? That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. Now, are you okay if I get into this communication skills? Because this is very relevant.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm going to say first, because I kind of know what he's going to say, is, okay, he's going to get into his communication skills and how he, it presents what he's saying. But the whole point is, and this is what's wrong with people, you know what I mean? Everybody's always emotional. Long as he gives you the truth and tells you what to do, what is the difference? I do agree that, you know what I mean, a lot of times he cuts people off when he shouldn't. You know what I mean? You could let somebody finish their statement at least, but it's a lot of times where it's warranted that he cuts them off. But what I'm saying is, see, people feel like his delivery a lot of times is harsh. So, and he talks about this. He talks about how, you know, women have been coddled their whole life. Women has been saying, oh, women have been told, you can have it all. You can do this. And he's right. Some women can. It's going to be very few, but some women can. But when you are a woman and you see the best situation come your way for the needs that you want, you should go at it this way, and it doesn't matter how I present it to you, long as you get it, because how everybody else has been presenting it to you, you haven't got it.
Okay. So life is not so black and white, right? You can still present things in a way that is respectful and compassionate and still get the results you're looking for. So please, I need this segment to be very special, y'all. Listen to me carefully. To all of Juice's friends, his family, look at me. Look at me right now. I know his friends, because I've heard him on the phone at work argue with mad people, you know, getting loud, getting aggressive. I've heard him.
Just to make time go by.
Right. Endless amounts of times I hear the way that he communicates with people. Y'all, his friends, his family. I'm doing this for y'all. His friends and his family, I'm doing this for y'all. So now y'all know how to explain your dissatisfaction with your friend or your family member. I'm about to explain it to y'all right now. Okay. My biggest issue with Kevin Samuels and my biggest issue with Juice at the same time is that they are both hyper logical men.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know what that means.
I'm about to break it down. I'm about to define it. I'm going to give you the signs, right? A hyperlogical man is when you have a great ability to analyze information but apply it inappropriately.
I don't think that I'll do that. But go ahead.
Is when you have a great ability to analyze information but apply it inappropriately. That is so fire. My intelligent people out there, y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to give y'all some examples of what this looks like to be a hyperlogical man. This is some of the examples, some of the qualities and things that they display, right? Forcing opinions on other people definitely is a huge one. Forcing your opinion on other people, right? Using vocabulary with the intention to hurt. Right? Or even body language with the intention to hurt. Cutting people off, having a reaction of harsh judgment or intense critique while or after someone is done talking. Please, that last one is so important. If somebody's talking and you're thinking in your head like, what the fuck? I don't agree with them. This ain't right, you know, and you're just thinking of all this judgment, you're just thinking of your response, you're probably a hyperlogical man. Okay, some signs of this is if you overgeneralize, you're probably hyperlogical. If you have complaints of I always want to be right from the people around you, or you hear the word narcissist a lot in your life, you're probably a hyperlogical man. Now, I'm going to get to what the solution is, but I want to give CJ a chance to respond. Please, his family and friends, please educate this young man. I'm going to give him a chance to talk.
I mean, well, I don't really have anything to say about it. I don't really know what it means, but again, I think that every single person, like in a conversation or kind of a debate, when somebody's saying something to you, even if you don't respond, you're thinking about what to respond. Everybody is, because you don't, especially, I'm going to be honest, that's a trait that I definitely do, because if that's what that is, because I don't know, I have a bad memory, and you might say something and I have something to respond and I'll forget. So I'll be like, you know, you might, even if I don't cut you off, you might see me like, oh,
yeah, struggling.
Yeah, because I might forget. So
right. And I'm the same way too. I cracked my head as a kid a couple times, like split my head open, all that shit. So my memory is messed up just like his as well, all right? So if you don't have anything else to say, can I get into the solution to being hyperlogical?
But we'll put it like this. It's like you're saying that, but like, I kind of don't get why it got brought up.
Uh-huh. Because you're saying that Kevin Samuels is trying to bring the black community together. So this is my response to that.
But
I'm
so hold on,
responding
hold on.
directly to
But
that.
what I'm saying is, what does that have to do with, like, all right,
Because if you wanted to bring communities together, you would use the way you deliver your words is important, and it should be compassionate so that that person walks away from the conversation feeling good and you walk away feeling good even though you got your point across. That's how you bring, that's how you get good results.
Well, again, for one, the way it's been being delivered is not working, and two, sometimes the truth don't feel good, and that's
That
what.
doesn't mean that you have to be an asshole about it. I'm about to explain.
Well, no, I'm saying first of all, and that was when he was on somebody else's platform or whatever. But for the most part, if you really watch his content, they come on his platform and talk to him. And the whole point is, you've come on my platform and you want advice. So let's say let's just say in the past, I don't want to. Let's just say, for instance, hypothetically, you got a girl, and I see like she treats you bad, and she be choosing and stuff like that. Now, I could tell you in a cool way, and a lot of times I've done that to my friends. It doesn't really get through. But if I be like, yo, man, she be choosing, man, that bitch was sucking dick, and you know what I mean, all this type of stuff. You may not want to hear that. But
Right.
that's what but it's the truth, and me telling you is going to help you.
Okay.
See, people think it's harsh. See, people think it's bad what's being said. The only thing I will agree with you is, I think that in certain instances he shouldn't cut people off. But what I'm saying is, the message that he's given and how he does deliver it, I don't think is bad at all. I think that people think their truths and how their lives are going and the way they think is bad, and that's why they take it so personal. That's just my opinion, though.
So, like, y'all saw how he was explaining, like, if my friend is dating a girl that's not treating you right, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to just tell you she was sucking dick behind the trash can, right? Listen, because he just said this is how he speaks to y'all. Look at me right now, his friends and family. That means he speaks to y'all this way. You, his boy, he gonna tell you your girl was sucking. If his message not getting through to you, he gonna give you the harsh reality, right? This is how.
Well, no, that's not what I do. I give you me personally, you know what I mean? I give you the harsh reality one time. I don't never talk about it again, though.
Right. If they asked for his opinion, like, yo, can you deliver it to me in a way that's aggressive, bro? If they say that, then you have the green light to respond that way. Go ahead.
Well, no, put it like this. And what happens a lot of times is, and this is just my opinion, I'm not going to say, I don't know what he really feels, but I feel that he really cares about black women and stuff like that. When white women come on there and try to talk about black women, he'll cuss them out. You feel me? So he really cares about you. And when you, like my man, like, if somebody was my dear, deep friend and I see this dude, and maybe that's a fault of mine, and maybe I guess I should leave the situation alone and let you struggle and keep getting cheated on or whatever the situation is, because when I see you hurting from this woman, what I'm probably going to say is, man, like, because I wouldn't just deliver it like, oh, man, like aggressive to you. I would tell you what's going on, and if you act like you don't know what's going on, I might be like, yo, man, what are you doing? This She's sucking, man, you tripping, like, you feel me? So what you're saying is, I guess I should just basically care less, and I'll give you the message. If you receive it, you do. If you don't, you don't. You know what I mean? But most of the time, I guess that was a bad example, because that's not when I'm more aggressive or talking loud. It's more like when your opinion or my opinion, and we're keep going at each other, or it's like a fact against the fiction, and we keep going at each other. Because really, a lot of people, it's crazy. A lot of people say that I like to argue, and the point is, and it's just in my opinion that I really don't. I guess I do argue, though, but I'm saying if you catch me arguing about something, it's an opinion that I know a lot about, or it's a fact that I know is a fact. So, like, if you're arguing with me about something that I really know about, and you're on the opposite, you might not know that much about it. So you're trying to argue with me. And if I'm arguing a fact that is actually a fact and you're arguing fiction, who wants to argue? Because I'm just talking like a fact. Like, you're talking fiction, but you keep going back and forth about fiction. I don't. So to me, that would mean like that you want to argue with me. But I'm not saying I'm right every single time. But stuff that I'm wrong about, I may put it out there. But once I find out I'm wrong, I don't usually argue. Or once something makes sense, I usually don't argue anymore.
Right.
I'll acknowledge like, no, that makes more sense than what I think. No,
Right.
you're right about that. But a lot of people, and this is my next segment on my message segment. People just can't be wrong nowadays. I don't know why. It's like people don't know what, like, people act like they've never been wrong before. And I guess when you get older, you get more set in your ways. But people just really can't be wrong nowadays. I really don't understand it. You know what I mean?
Okay. So the one thing I want to say to y'all is it's okay to talk about your weaknesses. That's the first thing I want to say. Like, I struggle with being a hyperlogical man, okay? I struggle with being a narcissist, pushing people away, because I'm telling them, damn, bro, this girl's doing you so dirty. I've been that guy. I push mad people away because of that. They don't like talking to me no more. You know what I'm saying? And the thing I want to say about that is you need to let people have their own experiences. This is something I had to learn the hard way with the friends in my life, and something that Juice also needs to learn, right? You need to
I will say, I guess so. I need to
learn
you
to
get done dirty.
let people have their experience, because if you try to, and this goes for kids too, if you're parents, this is so important. Let them have their own experience, because if you cut it short by trying to say, look, I've seen the future, I already lived that, I already been through that, please listen to me. If you try to cut it short, they're going to project it onto you like, oh my gosh, now I got to do this because this person's telling me. They don't understand the message for themselves. Have faith in your companion. Let them have their experience. Let them get cheated on. They need to feel the hurt. Hurting is how you learn. If you prevent them from hurting, they won't learn as much. If you my boy, I'm going to let that girl cheat on you 100 times. So when you find out, you feel despair. You feel terrible. So now you learn, and the next time you're going to move smarter. If I cut it short and you didn't even know she cheated on you, or maybe you only knew one time or whatever it is, you don't understand the significance because you're having somebody else tell you. Let your friends have their experiences. Let your kids have their experiences. Stop trying to influence people.
I will say that I agreed on most of what you said, but then that little end part I didn't agree with. But I would say I guess you just taught me something. You should let people have their own experiences, I guess. But it's hard sometimes when you feel like it's like, and it's opinion based, I would say, I guess, because when you're in that mode, it's like you should let people have their own experiences.
It's hard.
And then you get opinionated to what you might feel, because I would say the reason why I might say something to somebody or something like this to feel like I need to help them, because I feel in my heart that that's what I would want somebody to do for me.
Because they hurting. You want to help them because they hurt. Go ahead.
But I will say, so I agree with all that. But the end part when you said if you seen your girl, your man girl cheating and don't tell him.
I'm not saying that. I'm not going to tell him. I'm going to tell him, but I'm not going to give him advice. Like, if I have the information, that's my man. I'm going to tell him, like, yeah, she cheated on you 100 times, but I ain't going to really give too much input. You do what you want with that information.
Okay, yeah, then I totally agree with you saying, because at first it may seem like you ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. Like, if a dude, if I consider you my friend, and you see my girl cheating and you seen it, and then you ain't tell me, and I know you knew. I'm gonna be like, yo, what type of dude is you? Like,
that's shiesty.
You feel me? Like,
I can agree with that.
But I'm saying when you cleaned it up, I will say that you taught me something right now. So.
Okay, so please let me get into the solution, because if y'all, we're probably gonna split this up into two, whatever. But either way, my goal, why am I here? Why did I pull up to this man's house to do this podcast? Is I don't want to make Juice feel like shit. I'm not trying to make him feel like less of a man. I just want to educate him and show him better role models. That's why I'm here today, to show him what a real role model looks like. Let me continue on what the solution is to hyperlogic, right? Okay. The solution is, you ever have that girl that's overly emotional, always crying, and just seems unreasonable? That's because she's hyper emotional. right? She lets out her emotions with tears and unreasonable emotions, right? Now, one step above being hyper emotional is hyper logic, right? You probably get more frustrated or more passionate, but you don't really cry. You ain't no bitch, you know what I'm saying? Listen, this is the solution, y'all. You should never have extremes in life. Don't be dependent on Kevin Samuels to be your dad or your role model, okay? You need to find balance in your life. Everything is balance, right?
Well, hold on real quick. He's not my role model for life. I would say that when it comes to the men and women, like, controversy as far as that talk is concerned, I would just say that I think he's very at the top of the game.
Do his points contribute to like some of your opinions on topics?
Well, no. What it actually does is when I watched him, I seen that his points were my points.
Okay, awesome.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's perfect.
It's just that I didn't, and
you didn't have the words, but you had the feeling.
Yeah, what he felt, I already felt.
Okay, so. Would you say that you've struggled to explain this to your friends and family when you talk about things like this? But now that you know Kevin Samuels, you have an easier time?
Well, no, I don't really. First of all, I don't really talk about this to family or whatever. But put it like this again, to my friends that are men, they feel like this too.
Okay.
I've never really heard.
Perfect.
I've never really heard another man.
Yeah.
Not feel like Kevin Samuels.
Absolutely. And look, let me tell y'all, listen to me. I want y'all to know what my weaknesses are. I'm not perfect. I struggle with narcissism. I struggle with hyper logic. I struggle with that stuff. I used to be one of y'all guys. If y'all friends with him and you think like that, I used to be one of y'all. Let me tell you what the solution is, all right? Finding balance between emotions and logic. This is what has the U.S. split as a community. You have either overly emotional people or overly logic people. Listen to me, y'all. Listen. You need to find balance. What does that look like? Let me define it for y'all, right? Finding balance with emotions, because I'm assuming you already have the logic. I'm speaking to the guys. Finding balance with emotions is when you have compassionate qualities with the ability to listen, understand beyond personal experience, and disagree if you feel that way, while simultaneously making that person feel good and heard by the end of the conversation. That is so important to y'all black men. If y'all friends and y'all agree with him, do y'all understand what I'm talking about? Y'all need to have compassionate qualities with the ability to listen and understand beyond your personal experience. The conversations I had with Clint over the last days was none of this. Now after I just said that, now think back to the conversations we had. This man is yelling and screaming, and I'm also getting passionate. Let me just put that out there. I'm also getting passionate.
He yelled and screamed too.
Which I only spoke for maybe 30% of that conversation. So in that 30%, I would say 10 to 15% was me being overly passionate, right? So the other 70% was this man talking. He's not compassionate, just like Kevin Samuels. Your goal should be, you know what? And that's how I feel today here. I don't want to make you feel like shit. This is how I'm living my example. I could just be like, I could be killing you with this shit right now. Because I was a hyperlogical man. I could be killing this nigga. But instead, because he was talking so much shit the other day, y'all don't even understand.
About what?
For 3 hours, this nigga is going crazy from 11:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. That's like 2.5 hours. This nigga's going crazy, but still, I want to represent my community the way you're supposed to. I came here today to his house a day later with, guess what? Compassion, patience. I'm trying to listen to him and understand what he's talking about. That's why hyperlogical is the ability to, you have a great ability. Kevin Samuels has a great ability to analyze information. Just use it appropriately to make people feel good. You got to think about your points, their points. You need to make people feel good. I was not feeling good from this man's conversation a couple days ago. I'm talking to this man. I'll say maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours in the conversation. I'm looking him in the eyes. I'm like, bro, I'm uncomfortable. Hold on, let me keep talking
No,
real
I
quick.
wasn't gonna talk.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm looking you in your eyes. I'm telling you I'm uncomfortable. He's not changing his tone. He's not changing whatever. Then we get to the end of it. I'm like, bro, you just straight up disrespected me at this point.
Oh, man.
Because your version of respect is different from my version of respect, which is my responsibility to inform him what my version of respect is, and I apologize for not doing that. I should have explained what my version of respect is and then leave him the option to say, yes, I want to continue talking, or no, I don't want to continue talking. So for all of my black men out there, if you feel disrespected, keep your class about you. You don't need to act out. You don't need to be overly passionate. Let that man know what is your version of respect, because guess what? It's subjective. Okay? Let him know and then say, look, this is my version. If you want to continue talking, you just let me know. But the biggest point I'm trying to make here, don't lose me here. Find balance with your emotions. You want that person to feel good by the end. You want to know why you want them to feel good, Kevin Samuels and Juice? You want to know why you want them to feel good? Because that's how you get the best results, and that's how you represent your community as a man. That's what I'm talking about, okay? That's why here I'm being calm. Well, now I'm being passionate because this is very important to me, but that's what I'm trying to let y'all know. Be compassionate.
Well, again, first I want to add that, we were talking about, because everybody that knows me know I talk about rap, and this is why I was meant to do this or whatever. But again, I think he was more or less angry that day because when he was talking a lot, I was cutting him off a lot. But the thing is, and people see, everything can't be emotional. And the thing was that he was kind of mad at that, but I was asking him a question, and he would either not answer my question or he would go off topic. So he felt disrespected that I would stop him from talking, but I guess he's right. I should have said, well, listen, we're talking about this. If you don't want to talk about this anymore, I guess we shouldn't talk anymore. But I thought, you know what I mean? Sometimes, hold on. Sometimes, you don't know how loud you're talking or whatever in a debate or whatever. So, I could acknowledge that was probably a fault of mine. But I just don't like what he said as far as at the end, as far as Kevin's, because the whole thing is sometimes being compassionate doesn't help people. Like, put it like this. Like, if you see the people that come on Kevin Samuel's show, it'd be like a bus driver. Put it like this. It'd be a bus driver that, left this guy that had about the same pay as her, and she's going in with she's trying to look for a man to take care of her 3 kids that makes $400,000 a year, and it's no compassionate way to say you don't qualify for those men.
There is.
Hold on. You don't qualify for those, especially, put it like this. He starts off he never just yells at people. He'll start off by telling you, listen, you don't qualify. You think you're above a man and you're a bus driver. You get what I'm saying? So then it gets heightened because I told you the truth in a calm way and you could not accept it. So then you got heightened. So then I really had to let you know, listen, you make $50,000 a year and have 3 kids. People that make $300,000 to $400,000 a year don't want that. He's trying to tell them in a nice way that, these men that have these options that you want, this is the way they live and this is what they choose. And then they talk like they're above a man, and he'll let you know that you're not. Basically, he'll ask you, well, have you ever had a man like this before? So really, you're not on that level. Okay. Why can't you just get a regular guy that really wants you? And that's where the tables turn. And it's really not him that turned the tables. Okay. The only thing I do disagree with what he does sometimes, he does cut people off. I don't understand why he would cut them off to that degree. Right. But, it is what it is.
All right. So my response to that is, if you listen carefully, y'all, I swear to God, I be saying bars. But anyways, if you make excuses to justify being rude to people, don't represent my community. Kevin Samuels, stop making videos. You make excuses and justify why you're rude to people. Stop overgeneralizing. Don't speak for the black community. Don't speak for men. If you make excuses, don't speak for the community, right? So then the next thing is, what is the solution to this, right? If people don't take the messages the right way, then how can you do what I'm saying and apply it to that information, whether she's a bus driver, whatever that. Go ahead.
All right, so what it is that they come on his platform asking for his advice.
Right.
Then he gives it to them, and then they're upset and argumentative.
Even if they're asking for it, even if they're getting upset, guess what? If you think you should turn up on them because they're coming to your show and now they're getting loud with you, guess what? You struggle with fairness as a man. Killing this nigga.
Well, no, it's not.
Killing this nigga, Kevin Samuels. Stop making videos, Kevin.
Hold on. The point is this.
You come.
It's not that. See, I think you're not. You don't get what he's saying by that. But what I'm saying is, you come to my show asking for my advice. See, what you don't understand is sometimes. What if I said to you, right? Or not, just say you were a girl, because I don't really know how to do that in that way.
My name's Dana. That works. Let's go.
Oh, man. But listen, right? So what if you wanted this luxurious life and you were, doing something wrong to another man, or not doing something wrong, but you talking about you're above these men, and when I let you know that you are not above these men and that these men wouldn't want you.
That's not my job.
Huh?
Kevin Samuels, that's not your job, Kevin. Who are you, God? You make the rules.
Hold on.
It's not your job.
Again, what he's doing is he's letting you know what is, because he'll ask them, what do you want? If they say marriage and they have 3 kids by 3 different baby fathers, right, he's going to let you know that, the people that you want that are making that type of money, they're smart and they have the pick of the litter. Right. And that these are the options they usually choose because that's who usually has them. And you see they don't usually choose you because not only are you not with one or never met one, you don't have a kid by one or anything like that. And for some people, that truth is hard to swallow.
Okay. So listen, y'all, especially Juice's friends, if y'all listen, please, this man, Kevin Samuels, is not God. I'm not saying that Juice said that. Right? But listen to me, y'all. Kevin Samuels is not God. In fact, he's really a nobody. He's just a black man that's turned on the camera. Maybe you have some type of college degree. That does not mean you get to share your opinions, force it on other people, cut people off, and talk to people rude. Hold on, because really, I want to get into the solution, right? How should Kevin Samuels handle this, right?
Get into the solution after that. After I say get into the solution, because we've been on this for a while. But listen, I just want to add, he doesn't force his opinions on people. You call his show and ask for his advice, and then he gives it to you.
Right, and I'm saying even though they signed up for his show, I'm judging him based off of what he does on his show, and it's inappropriate. What's the solution, y'all? Let me tell you right now. The solution is when you have this girl that's coming up to you, maybe she got 10 kids. I don't care if she got 10 kids, and she works as a fucking part-time plumber, right? And she's like, I need Drake. If you're not on Drake level, I don't want to hear it, right? Then you say, this is how you respond if I was Kevin Samuels. Like, do you think that maybe you're struggling with entitlement, right? Why am I forming it as a question? Because you're going to get the best results if they feel like they answered the question. You will get better results. If they go, fuck, I don't think I'm struggling with entitlement. Or maybe they do say, you know what? I think I am struggling. Ask questions, because the alternative is let them have their experience. If you're going to share your opinion like Kevin Samuels, do it with compassion and love and with the intention of that person feeling good, or let them have their own experience. If you're going to talk to this person, ask them questions then if you want to share your opinion. Like, do you feel this way? What do you think about these things? Don't just force it, because now you're opening up the door for them to feel like they are answering the question for themselves. Guess what that does, my people? That gets you better results. If you want to bring the black community together, you will do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? You will be compassionate. Don't represent the black community because you're rude. You're rude, bro. I'm going to represent us, okay? He needs to stop making music videos. Y'all need to be more compassionate. Stop objectifying women. Put some respect on their name and learn how to see things other than your own perspective with compassion.
So I guess that's it for today, but I don't agree. But but that's where we differ.
Let him know in the comments.
You got the new generation and you got the old. You know what I mean? I don't agree. You know what I mean? And to be honest, he has had results. He's had a few marriages. He's really shown, when he's shown women how to act, he's had a few marriages and women are realizing what they're doing. But with that being said, you still gonna leave your information, right?
Yeah, it's all gonna be my music gonna be down in the comments. If y'all want to see what I'm talking about, the bars are there, the music is there. Go listen.
All right, so that's what it is. You don't want to name any songs or anything that you want people to go out and hear or whatever.
Nah, y'all listen to y'all own thing, make y'all own assumption. If y'all want to like me, y'all listen to more music. If y'all want to hate me, y'all gonna listen to one song.
All right, so like I said, it's my boy Dane. You know what I mean? We just talking about a few subjects. Hopefully he'll be back. You know what I mean? It's your boy Juice Bundles. This is the sound of hip hop, and we out of here.
We out.